Hey everybody, on this episode of Box Office Breakdown, we're going to talk about how Emily Blunt took a train to the top of the box office. Let's do it.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Box Office Breakdown.
Ooh, look at that, a little funky music bringing us in here.
Oh yeah,
the Box Office Breakdown. Hey everybody.
We're breaking it down.
That's right.
In many ways.
Look at that. Woo, yes. Check us out. Welcome everybody to Box Office Breakdown here on Popcorn Talk. This is the show, of course, that discusses the box office from the weekend that was. And then, Richie Skye, what do we do about the weekend ahead?
Prognosticate.
Prognosticate, baby.
I'm sorry, Quinn, what was that? What do we do?
Prognosticate.
That's right. We prognosticate about the box office to come. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie.
Hi there, I'm Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian.
And I'm DJ Richie Skye. You can stalk me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Richie Skye.
And Kari Lane update. She is in the last week of doing her horror film. She'll be back here next week. We'll be able to get all the inside deets about all her experiences there and working on the horror film.
I'm going to quiz her for 5 minutes. Straight on this.
Just a straight up quiz. All right, so Kari, please do your studying there. Richie Skye, I know
I
that
just want to know what it's like to film a horror movie.
Ooh, we're going to find out. Yeah, pretty
Gosh,
cool.
Can't wait to hear all the dirty deets. And I want them to be dirty.
Because it's a horror movie.
Because she just wants to hear about it because she's not going to watch.
That's true. That's very true. So, folks, you can like us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hop in the chat. As you know, we always love having you be part of our discussion throughout the episode. We're going to pull the chat up on the screen here so we'll be able to see what you guys' thoughts are about the box office, what you guys are thinking about as we break down the weekend that was. So let's just jump right into it there. We'll talk a little bit later about last week's box office bet in just a moment there. Because
Must we?
Must we? We must, of course. As always, we got to talk about
Anything
that.
to get rid of the whole debacle from last week.
That's right. Yeah, just
Up and upwards and onwards,
That's
baby.
right. There you go. So, of course, coming in at number 1, we talked about The Girl on the Train. Emily Blunt there from Universal. $24.6 million.
All right, so that came in a little bit less than we thought.
Yes. As we look back over our box
Just
office
a
bet, of
tad
course.
bit.
Yes, this is the film that you in the chat room decided that we should do our box office bet on. We did those numbers there. Richie Skye came in with $38 million. Quinn got 35. I came 32. Look at
So
me.
you won.
I won. That's
Because
so rare.
usually you shoot over a little.
I do.
So you
I
kind
do.
of went under this time.
You did.
But no, I think maybe we're starting to learn our lesson because I think we've all been going a little high. It's like,
That's
okay,
true.
let's calm down. Let's sink into this situation.
The only time I really went high was that 9 Lives fiasco, but...
Yeah.
Well,
All
I think
right.
somebody.
Then I'm just talking about myself. Then.
Somebody also won $60 million in this Fairgrounds.
What dumb bitch did that?
I have no clue.
Oh gosh, it was Kari. It was
actually-
Kari. She's not here. Let's just blame
That's
it
right.
on
Oh,
Kari.
sure.
I actually almost saw this movie, but what I did go see instead was
Yes.
Blair Witch.
Blair
Ooh,
Witch.
Interesting.
Going a little old school.
Can I?
Sorry.
It's not that old.
It was old
Like
2 weeks ago.
weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago, guys.
First off, I got to the movies late, which is something I never do, but there was so much traffic. So anyway, I got there, and I walked into, it wasn't like that late, but it was like I hate missing the previews. I absolutely
Steven, do you mind if we throw the chat up here on the old screen? I like to know what people are saying.
Hey, Quinn Scillian, yeah, I'll throw the chat.
Hey, thank you so much for listening, for tuning in. Thank you very much.
He's the perfect voice
So,
for that.
Rich, just to paint the picture, because you reside in the lovely city of Burbank.
I do.
You're not that far from the. How far are you from
North
the theater?
Hollywood.
North
I
Hollywood.
am not that far from the theater.
Okay, but traffic was terrible.
But listen, I was coming from another destination to get to the movies.
Because Richie Skye, man, his weekends are packed.
Ooh, he's a busy boy.
They are
Busy boy.
But can I tell you something though? This felt like an unfinished piece of work. Like it didn't feel like a complete movie.
No?
I felt like
What was lacking
I
for
was
you?
shafted. I don't know. I can't tell you. It seemed like they cut a piece of something and they said, "Here we go. Put it out there." It just felt very weird.
It didn't feel like the storytelling was
No,
there.
it
No
didn't-
beginning,
no.
middle, end kind of
There kind of was,
narrative.
but there wasn't. You just got
Journey to go to be a better person.
I just felt like I could have stayed at home for this.
Well, so as you know, the promotion there for Blair Witch is kind of teasing it as kind of the continuation of the first film. Did you feel it was a satisfying continuation of that story?
No.
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 All right, how many stars? How many stars are we giving Blair Witch?
Out of 5?
Yeah.
1.
Ooh, Ooh.
And y'all know I love a scary movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it
didn't
had
do it
its
for you.
moments, but it just, as a complete tale, it just didn't fulfill me.
But you know what?
That's
That's why
what
I
it
really...
felt like. It felt like an episode of Tales from the Crypt. Like it could have been like a 30-minute, little piece, and it was meant to kind of scare you a little bit and leave you just hanging at the end.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
Albin, boy, look at that. He's just really keeping everybody in the chat really, talking truth there. All he's hearing is excuses from everybody's box office predictions here.
I did go see Girl on a Train this week.
Yes, and?
And I have lots of thoughts about it. I thought...
Tell us.
First of all, I had a very strange viewing experience, and I don't know if that changes the
Were
way
you
I
late
feel
too?
about... I wasn't late. No. I came in with a couple trailers left. But I don't know if this changed the way I feel about the movie, but it was very odd because there was some point during the movie, there was a bunch of younger kids kind of like maybe a little far ways down to us on the left, taking pictures with their flash on and being really, really disruptive, which was really annoying. But what was even more annoying than that was everybody else in the theater getting mad at these kids and getting them kicked out of the theater. So we had about 5 minutes of just like very hostile emotions running high, people very angry at these kids, and like when they finally get kicked out, everyone's clapping, which is like way more disruptive than these kids were even being in the first place. It was like very bizarre. And then like the guy next to me like kept asking his girlfriend questions the entire movie, and I'm like, it's not that complex, dude.
Girl,
like,
dump him.
it was like very weird, and I don't know if that had anything to do with my viewing experience or the way I took away from it, but like I thought it was just fine. I thought Emily Blunt killed it. I thought her performance was so wonderful, so nuanced. If you're gonna see this movie, see it for her. She was great. If you don't care, wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak in here real quick,
Go
guys.
ahead.
I had a weird theater experience too, but it wasn't because of kids talking in the theater. It was because the movie takes itself so seriously
Right,
at
and people were
times
laughing, don't you think?
that I was just laughing a lot of the time. Like,
yeah, it was a little too melodramatic at some point.
oh my god, like this, like. You know how The Martian won for Best Comedy? This movie is more of a comedy than The Martian.
There was a couple moments, especially with the Megan character. And you know what? Good. I don't know the name of that actress, but like I was like,
She
wow.
was the wife in
she's
Hardcore Henry.
Oh, okay.
1 second, I'll look it up right
She's
now.
at first I was like, wow, she's really not doing it for me. And then I took a step away from it and I was like, no, she just has some of the most trite, cliche material that she has to work with as this character. And I was like,
Haley Bennett.
Haley Bennett, and actually she did a really good job with what she was given, because I think that was really, really tough. Although Allison Janney, I think she's always really good. There was like a lot of people in this movie that I thought were really good, except Justin Theroux, who was so weirdly one-dimensional and really hard to buy into. I think you really had to suspend your disbelief for a lot of all the things involving him.
Oh my God, this sounds horrible.
The interesting thing about the movie is the more you think about it after the fact, the more you kind of see it as, okay, that was a good film. Like when you're watching it though, you're kind of bored at times. Some of the twists are good, and some of like the reveals are pretty good. But it's like only after you have seen it and you're walking out of the theater do you really think like, okay, I mean, the characters developed. There was significant arcs with characters.
You know what? I thought the pacing was really good. Can we agree on that?
Well, the pacing was good, but it was boring at times. That's the problem.
Okay.
I have 2 questions. Is this movie long?
No.
It's an hour and 51 minutes.
Okay, so
Okay,
it's
so
like normal.
it's sort of long. Okay, and next, does it follow closely with the book?
I never read the book.
I did read the book.
Okay.
And there were some things that were different. There was actually some things that were changed for
That
the
made it
better.
better?
Although I do wish they had just left it set in London. I thought that there was something really weird about them switching it to Manhattan,
America, yeah.
because I almost feel like the way of living in the London side of things, when with the train coming in and out of London, makes a little bit more sense than it being like New Jersey or wherever we're supposed to believe that they are. So I almost feel like that was like, I just kind of wish that like the quaintness of that London kind of, or the British countryside was there. I don't know, but there, but like I said, like they turned 2 officers into just one officer who was Allison Janney, and like who doesn't love Allison Janney? So I didn't mind that. I liked that she went to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting at some point, which never happened in the book. I don't know.
Let's avoid spoilers, but I just say the movie is like passing. It's like when you tell somebody to do something for you, like they're on a project, and they do the bare minimum where it's like, you did a good job, you didn't really go above and beyond. It's like, it's okay.
I hate mediocrity.
Oh.
But again, I really, really want to press how good Emily Blunt was. She pulled this really, really difficult role off really well, really subtle, really beautiful work from her. And I think that now I can't wait to see what she's going to do next.
Oh, all right. Well, Richie Skye, you'll also be able to chime in on your thoughts about this soon enough, since Richie Skye lost the box office bet, and we'll have to be checking out The Girl on the Train.
An hour and 51 minutes of pleasure.
Get excited, Richie Skye. So coming at number 2 this week, we had, again, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, edging up ever so closely to that $60 million that Quinn predicted.
Okay, so like worldwide. Or like, whatever.
Now, I made a little 48% drop. I guess from everything that I've been hearing is more like Tim Burton. Everything looks great visually, but the story just some kind of like, kind of
Also, just to talk about Rotten Tomatoes for a second. Not that I always bring up Rotten Tomatoes, but in terms of word of mouth and stuff, we're not seeing like amazing reviews. And if that's going to do anything for, like, the legs of, girl on the train or whatever, like, maybe we won't have such a great week next week.
Yeah, it's always interesting just taking a property like that where you're introducing something adapted from a novel. And then I feel like it seems like the typical poster that you see for that is just always all the characters just kind of, like, standing in different places on a poster, and they're all just standing there. And that's usually just like your introduction to these characters. I feel like I want something more out of the promotional efforts than just people just standing there. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, something else is going to like suck me in a little bit more into the whole concept rather than just like, hey, here's a bunch of characters that
Are we talking about Now You See Me Too?
Oh, either just like
I think that's what we're talking about.
But I think wasn't this time where they kind of like it was like more of like a little angle up there, so you tilted the perspective a little bit, so then that cuts it for me.
But either way, we had a 43% for The Girl on the Train, 64% for Miss Peregrine's, which isn't bad, but I don't think we're gonna get the kind of word of mouth that we were hoping for.
Yeah,
it's just unfortunate in that movie that Samuel Jackson plays Samuel Jackson.
I was really disappointed with him, actually, which is
exactly.
weird. He played his part that he played in The Kingsman.
Yeah,
which is the same part
which
he's
is
played
Samuel
in most
Jackson.
movies.
It was
There's
just
nothing
like
wrong with it. It just kind of takes you out of a fantasy movie.
Totally took me out of it. Like it was like he was in a completely different movie. The stakes for him were so much lower than the stakes for everybody else. It was really a really bizarre choice on his part.
All right. Coming at number 3, we've got Mark Wahlberg still in the top 5 there with Deepwater Horizon. They're from Lionsgate, $11.75 million. So, I don't know. It's if you want your Kurt Russell, go check out Deepwater Horizon. Richie Skye was not doing it there.
83% for that.
Yeah.
Which, that's all right. Peregrine was another mediocre movie. So what do we like? You know what I mean?
Mediocrity is winning.
And then coming number 4, Magnificent Seven, $9.1 million.
Yet another movie that was just kind of meh.
Yeah.
Hey, I loved
Dang.
it. I like the action in that.
I think it's funny that this week I've seen pretty much every movie in the
Yeah.
top 5, and all of them were just meh.
Are you watching Westworld?
Yes.
See, now when I'm thinking about Western, I'm like, screw Magnificent Seven. All I want to do is go watch Westworld now.
Magnificent Seven's characters are so forgettable the way they did this remake that it's just, I barely even remember the movie. I saw it, watched the whole thing, barely even remember it, and I'm like, the problem is they didn't do anything innovative because everything in the original Magnificent Seven was so innovative that everyone else copied that. So now everything is just a cliche. So the movie is just a complete cliche of itself.
Do you think that's because we just we have this very one-dimensional view of what a Western is supposed to look like, or what these characters, these stock characters are?
No, because if you go back and watch Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and the movies surrounding that, they're still great. Because they took cliches from, of course, Magnificent Seven. They took these things, but at least they had originality within them, and the storyline was original. This, you didn't develop any characters. You didn't grow close to any characters. You're just kind of watching people shoot each other and not really caring whether they die or not.
That's the fun of it all.
Yeah, but I want to care. I want to care.
Where's the heart in those Westerns, right? And rounding out our top 5
Tough crowd
storks,
today.
kind of held out a little strong there.
Your favorite movie of the year?
not my favorite movie of the year, but better than some.
Okay, but that's what you told me before we started filming, so don't say differently because
right.
now everyone's
I pulled
watching.
Oh my God, that's your
He
favorite movie
told
of the
me
year.
I had it for about
already
15
that Storks
minutes.
was his favorite movie. He's been raving about it for weeks.
Guys, I didn't want to say anything, but Quinn's pushed me. I've got a Storks tattoo on my chest.
Yeah.
That
Here
this
we go,
movie
He got a
for
Storks
you
tattoo on his
is
chest.
better than Bridget Jones' Baby. I can't believe it.
Oh,
I
it
can't
is.
believe
It is. I would watch this movie again and again before I watch Bridget Jones' Baby. That one it's just not. Oof, that one was not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's all demographics because like you're a child.
That's
So
true.
you're like a little
I am
kid.
yep, that's true.
And you're
he
not,
doesn't like romantic comedies.
Yeah, sure.
Come on, we talked about that. I do like romantic comedies. Look,
I still don't believe it.
what Serendipity? How about that?
Did you watch Devil Wears? Who hadn't seen Devil Wears Prada?
No, that was me. I have not seen it yet.
You didn't watch it?
I didn't watch it. Guys,
promised.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
Can we end this? Can we
Hey,
end
Richie
this
Skye,
feed because
You promised.
He's up there on the train, Richie Skye.
I'm gonna go see it. I didn't have to go see it
That's
until
true.
this week.
That's
Now
true.
I have to see it.
That's true. You already checked out Magnificent Seven. You were ahead of the curve.
I am working it.
That's all right. All right, so that was our top 5 there. Now, a little later on, of course, Richie Skye, we found out that he lost this week's box office bet. That means we get a chance to do a whole new one at the end of this episode.
Oh joy!
Yes, I know Richie
Skye
Skye's
Patterson,
favorite
I
part
agree
of
with
that.
you, by the way. Film studios are so scared to take a risk, and they rush films. You're right. I would rather wait. I feel the same way about television. I would rather wait a couple extra months to get a seriously good product and then get these movies ASAP.
You know.
You don't agree? Oh, you millennial. He's such a millennial.
I don't know. I mean, you can't. If you advertise a date, then you know what happens. We anticipate that date. And you cannot push back a movie after you've promised me that date. Because then I'm angry, and then I'm going to get mad and lose interest until it comes out.
See, I so disagree.
You should never have kids, Richie.
I so disagree. I see, oh, you need more time. I'm like, all right, you take that time, boo-boo. You make this something really special.
No, because then I'm like, you lied to me.
Patience is a virtue, and good things are worth waiting for.
But when you see something
And
like...
those are 2 cliches that I just use.
There you go. When you see something like what Marvel and DC, Warner Brothers did, announcing their superhero slates, going so far off into the future, into their early 20s. I mean, does that get you excited when you see that whole long line, or it's like, guys, just get me excited
It gets
on
me
the first
excited
film?
when Marvel does it.
Yeah, but in a sense, it's like,
Because
all
I
right, great.
trust them and I believe them.
Well, yeah, but even as much as I love Marvel and the films, it's like, just get me excited about the one that's coming up next.
I like.
Don't worry about telling me what's happening in
knowing
2021.
the
Yeah,
timeline of what's coming out, so that I can get excited for every last one of them.
So if they only
So you
told you
did not
like
see
one,
them.
Oh no, I see all of those.
if they only told you one film in advance, what they were doing, that way you
I mean, I would have no choice but to get excited about it. But I mean, I like just the thrill of knowing that there's X amount of movies still to come. It's like it gives you like this anticipation of
but
like,
how much
okay,
does that
what is
build
it going to be about?
Yeah, but how much of that is like falsely build up your expectations, and you build up this idea of what it is, and then when the films do come out and they don't match what you've kind of built for 3-4 years just waiting, and you're projecting this whole big thing, and it doesn't meet that.
But see, I don't have the same film going experience that some of you guys have. Like, I will go to the theater and sit there and just be in the movie, like I'm there, like I'm in it. I'm not really analyzing the characters that much, because sometimes I just want to
that's all I
experience
do.
the movie for what it actually is. You know what I mean? It should be a fun ride.
I think there's
If
two
it's
different ways to
not
watch
a
a
fun
movie.
ride,
I always think there's 2 different ways to watch a movie. You can either be an active viewer or a passive spectator. They're very different viewing experiences. I feel the same exact way about when I watch TV. I used to have a TV blog, and every single time I would watch an episode of television, I would review it. And it got to be that like I felt very differently about the shows that I would sit down and review than the shows that I would just watch and just not, worry about or not critique so much. So it's just it's a totally different way to use your brain while you're watching a movie, and you just have to decide, am I going to go in here and I'm going to watch it this way, or am I going to go in here and I'm going to watch it this way? It's just a very different viewing experience, and I think both can be enjoyable. It's just different.
Yeah, but I just feel like if I spend so much time picking apart the little elements of it, I might not enjoy anything.
Okay, fair enough. See, I like to pick it apart.
Yeah.
And I like to go on to Reddit afterwards, and I like to see what everyone else is saying. And I want to see,
love
did you
seeing
see
what
what I
everyone
saw, what I
said.
said, or did did your predictions come true? Did my predictions come true? All of this kind of thing, and not just in terms of plot. I'm talking about production. I'm talking about story. I'm talking about even, promotion to a certain extent.
Yeah, I like seeing what people are going to say, but I'm not really going to put that much stock into it. I love reading reviews, but I still have to see it for myself.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Now, it feels like a lot of the studios heading more towards tentpoles, franchises, things like that. Would you rather see more stuff kind of embrace like a happy medium, where you get to see people like Christopher Nolan, for good or bad, whether you like the films or not. But you see Interstellar, you see Inception, kind of original concepts that are, they get that big movie budget to be able to execute those large visions that a director has. So almost like those independent films, but with a huge studio budget behind it. Would you rather see a nice balance between a tentpole and a franchise and that? Because I feel like we're losing more of that individual,
I would like
unique
to see
stories.
a nice balance. You know what I'm saying? For me, that's why I love Don't Breathe, because I felt like it was an original take on the whole home invasion sort of like, genre. But I just think that there can be a balance of both. They just have to be good movies. You know what I mean? Like, fun.
Right, so take your time, make them good.
And as Sky Patterson
But
says,
that doesn't mean that you have to start all over or add all of this extra. I mean, if an idea is good from the get-go, then let it be good from the get-go and let it stay what it is.
we see Sky
Reshoots
Patterson.
don't always make it better.
Well, no, we saw that with Suicide Squad. The DCEU slate is being changed completely, anyways, and that's the thing. Like the danger of calling your shot so far in advance, if your initial films aren't that successful or don't meet that criteria that audiences want, and then all of a sudden you're stuck on the vine. Like, whoa, boy, we called all this.
They're still figuring out what works for them. They haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, but it's like why? I feel like until you figure out you have a nice proven record, it's all right. I mean, as much as it irritates me that Marvel does it, at least Marvel's got a nice track record behind them. But for DC to go out and and announce this ambitious film slate and not really know exactly what their voice is yet, then I feel like, man, it's going to struggle if these initial films like Superman versus Batman and Suicide Squad.
Especially when you're in direct comparison to something that's just like a mammoth and that's just doing so well.
Yeah.
It almost just feels like biting off more than you can chew.
All right, so we'll finish up our top 5 there. As I said, we're going to talk a little bit about the end of the episode, give you a chance to hop in the chat, let us know what you want us to be betting on for next week's box office bet. Just to give you guys a little heads up to start thinking about it, let it kind of ruminate in your head. Just when we call for you to start casting your votes. We're going to be betting between The Accountant, Kevin Hart, What Now, and Max Steel. Whoo-wee, yeah.
More Kevin Hart, yeah.
Yeah, more Kevin Hart, because Richie Skye demanded it. We now have
Listen,
Kevin
let
Hart
the man
right now.
make his money. That's
No,
all I
that's
gotta
right.
say.
So start thinking about those. But in the meantime, though, we're going to start talking about international numbers. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children again leads the international box office from Fox there as it nears the 100 million mark at overseas turnstiles with 94 million after 2 weeks internationally. So not too bad.
All right.
It's doing good elsewhere.
Yeah, Elsewhere Girl on the Train left the station with a solid 16.5 opening in 34 markets and led in the UK with 8.5 million.
Led
So-
in the UK with 8.5.
Yeah, there you go, Media Shock. There you go.
Did
So
y'all
that
have a
was-
real slow weekend or what?
Yeah, all right, Media Shock. What were you doing there
Or
in
is
the
that a
UK?
large weekend?
I don't know.
And then otherwise, in terms of other releases there, J.A. Banya's A Monster Calls, which universally debuted in Spain, came out with 3.9 million, the biggest opening for a Spanish movie this year. And Elsewhere Finding Dory crossed 1 billion worldwide, and Suicide Squad has now overtaken Deadpool at the international box office with $419.6 million to date. Between the two, I much more enjoyed Deadpool than Suicide Squad. You guys?
Thoughts?
Richie?
Yeah, I would agree.
I really liked Deadpool and haven't seen Suicide Squad.
But I think that says something there, because if you really wanted to see Suicide Squad by now, you probably would have seen it. Until it comes to you at some
It's
point.
true, but
But
I
I
think that I
say-
did pass the precipice of I have to just wait now. I think I passed that.
But I think if you were that
not-
excited about seeing it, you would have seen it closer to its release date.
But I was
I kinda
so
want
busy.
you
I
to
actually did really
see
want to
it.
see it, but I was working. I had no time to go see it. And then it got to the point where I was like, okay, do I want to go see Suicide Squad in an empty movie theater, or do I just want to watch it at home? It almost feels like something I would have rather had like a big full experience and seeing it with everybody, opening weekend, second weekend, whatever, than having to go see it with like 3 other people like dry humping in the back of the theater. Three
Girl,
people.
which theaters are you going to?
It's a polyamorous relationship.
Please tell me where.
Yeah,
Which is this theater?
Oh
Quinn?
yeah,
I'd like to hang out there.
that's the at the Grove. It's the theater at the Grove.
Oh my God.
The theater at the Grove.
Not
And-
the Grove.
You guys obviously haven't been there during a matinee on a Wednesday.
No, I guess not. I guess if there's people.
I'm just saying that it did get to a point where it's like I'm just gonna watch Suicide Squad home with my little glass of wine and my little cheese and whatever, then have to go sit in a half-empty theater to see it.
Oh man.
I passed that point.
Yeah, but for me, crowds aren't that important inside a theater. As long as, I mean, it's the screen and just, the experience. Because it could be just as crowded, and you could have what you described for Girl on a Train.
True.
So going into a mostly
No,
empty
but with
box
like lots
office.
of fans though, it's fun when the fans are
I
there
kinda
and
want
the
it to be
energy
empty
is
so I
there.
can get the perfect
Am I
seat.
crazy? I love I just remember the energy of like the the midnight Harry Potter films, and like I'm always just trying to chase that, I guess.
True, but it's also if you're not enjoying the film, then having a bunch of people kind of reacting to the things that are irritating, you're like, why are you guys liking this?
But Deadpool was really good. Let's talk about Deadpool. Deadpool was amazing.
Let's talk about a movie that came out in February. Let's do that.
I loved Deadpool. I've seen it like 3 times.
I think Frank was being sarcastic. Let's not talk about a movie that came out in February.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're talking about Devil Wears Prada like every day at this point.
Every day? Every day.
It's always
2008.
relevant. So
You are absolutely correct.
So, as I mentioned, the 3 films coming out next week are going to be The Accountant, Kevin Hart, What Now, and Max Steel. And it's always like to take somebody that's in one of these upcoming films, kind of do a little top 5 retrospective of their top opening box offices for their career. And with The Accountant, and we're talking about Batman versus Superman, things like that. Why don't we talk about Ben Affleck?
I love talking about Ben
We just
Affleck
got
as well.
very silent on that.
You're not a Ben Affleck fan?
No, it's not that.
Oh.
I think he great career.
Very dismissive.
Super diplomatic answer, and I love it.
Great career.
Can I just say that, and this is totally irrelevant to The Accountant, but I just was watching the Justice League trailer and listening to his voice as Bruce Wayne and Batman. It's just so irritating to me. Like I almost found it distracting, and I couldn't take it seriously.
I don't think you're the only one who feels that way.
And I don't know why they do that to him. Like he can talk like a regular person.
Well,
Is it just me? Nobody else feel that?
But I feel like Christian Bale's
Why is
voice
he
as
growling?
Batman was just even more distracting to me. I found that
They're all distracting. Why do they make him sound like that?
because I guess people feel like in this day and age, like anybody would recognize somebody talking despite what you're wearing. So you feel like Batman's got to change his voice,
it's
otherwise
because
they'll know.
anyone who's not Kevin Conroy cannot do it as well as Kevin Conroy.
I'm sorry, I'm definitely
That's
Alvin.
very
You're
true.
definitely not a Ben Affleck fan. See, this is baffling to me. I mean, Dogma. How are you not a Ben Affleck fan? I love everything Ben Affleck does.
Batman?
I just I like his energy. I love Ben Affleck. I love Matt Damon. I want them to stay alive forever. Can we cryogenically freeze Ben Affleck and Matt Damon?
Oh, well, I guess we'll look into that.
Thanks.
Accountant comes out soon.
There you go. So we're gonna roll out. I did this top 6. So we're gonna roll out number 2 just to give you a heads up. That was this cameo there as Batman in Suicide Squad. We'll toss that aside as just a cameo. So we'll break down the other 5. Coming in at number 6, movie that I'm not ashamed to say that I did enjoy. It still makes me cry at the end. Armageddon. Mm-hmm. There you go. Came back out in '98. $36 million there for Disney. I tell you, at the end where Bruce Willis and he are saying goodbye, as Bruce Willis is lowering back down and Ben Affleck's crying out to him, oh man, I get teared up every time.
That does it for you?
Yeah. Not for you, Quinn. Are you cold inside?
I like Armageddon. I saw it one time, and I remember being like, I'm watching this with my dad. This is fun.
I like it. I watched it that one time. It was all right.
Sorry.
Sorry, that's my Devil Wears Prada, is Armageddon.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Get out
it
of
is.
here.
Devil Wears Prada is your Devil Wears Prada. You just haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay, there you go. Come in at number
Wait.
4.
I have a quick
Wait, I'll
question.
take
Yes, sir.
Leonardo DiCaprio over Ben Affleck. That's like apples and oranges, Alvin. I don't think that.
Is Ben Affleck a better Daredevil or a better Batman?
Better Batman.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, that Daredevil movie was rough. Oof, that was a rough movie. Yeah. Yeah,
Wasn't that
was
bad. I mean, it wasn't as good as the series, but
no.
Whatevs.
That was oh boy. Coming in at number 5 there for him, on our list of 6, Gone Girl.
he was good in that.
Yeah, it came out in 2014, $37.5 million.
I appreciated him in that movie.
I really liked Gone Girl.
Now, compared to Girl on the Train to Gone
Ooh,
Girl,
yes.
very kind of similar.
Compare.
While reading the book, gosh, I really couldn't stop thinking about Gone Girl. And then when seeing the movie, it really didn't feel similar.
Okay.
It really felt very, very, maybe towards the end it got very kind of closer, but Gone Girl was such a suspenseful movie. And
It was.
while Girl on the Train was suspenseful, it was a little bit more of a drama. I don't know. I would say that Gone Girl maybe even fits into more of a thriller category.
that's what I was hoping
psychological
for.
thriller. We didn't really get that as much, but I really liked Gone Girl. I thought it was great. Neil Patrick Harris, awesome.
Interesting.
There you go. Lei Jen, she lives Armageddon. She doesn't just love it, she lives
But
it.
he's not a good actor. But yes, he is. Wait, did you guys ever see Shakespeare in Love? Honestly, Ben Affleck is in Shakespeare in Love for like 2 seconds, and he's like the best part of the movie.
Oh, media shock. You feel Daredevil and Elektra are so underrated? Oh, media
I
shock.
kind of think so too. I mean, I kind of liked them.
Really? Oh, all right.
I did. I mean,
And also Good Will Hunting.
there you go.
We'll have a new host next time. Richie, I'm sorry, but you're kicked off. Executive decision.
That's right. Coming in at number 4 for Ben Affleck, we had Daredevil. Came out in 2003 from Fox. $40.3 million its opening weekend. I mean, I didn't know they did their director cut to is where they added some storyline with Coolio that got excised from the theater.
Isn't that
I
where
had
he
never
met
watched that
Jennifer
version.
Garner?
Yes, it was.
So then we have to give it, they were a wonderful couple
They
there.
made Bennifer.
see,
Bennifer, yeah.
good things happen from that.
Good things happen
sure.
from bad movies. Geely.
Oh my
No,
god.
wait,
That's
wait.
another Ben.
Yeah, that's another Bennifer.
movie, but
It's
it was
another
Jennifer
Bennifer.
Lopez.
Yeah. Oh.
So many Bennifers coming out of these
I
movies.
forgot all about that movie.
Geely, yeah.
How did you
Sadly-
forget it? It was like it won like a million Razzies or what are the
I
bad
know.
things?
But that's the sad thing with the accountant. That's all I think of is that, I mean, certainly it's Ben Affleck's character was dealing with the character that had some development issues. And I feel like, boy, every time I see him in those accountant trailers, I think, like, oh, Geely. Oh, I don't know. Number 3 on his Ben Affleck there, Pearl Harbor. Again, another Michael Bay film. Came out in 2001, $59 million. I just did not feel like I wanted to like this because
you don't like Pearl Harbor?
It's just okay. It's just okay.
Gosh, I really like it.
I think it's probably one of my least favorite Michael Bay films.
I do like that is one that when I see it on ice, I'll watch it.
Okay, you have to choose between Armageddon, The Rock, and Pearl Harbor. Which one? Rank those. Power rank me those 3 movies.
Pearl Harbor, Armageddon, The Rock.
No way! Really? Oh man. Okay. All right. There you go.
But it's a nostalgia thing too, though. You have to understand it's like time and place and kind of like what you wrap up because the movies are kind of like we got a couple of years behind us for those movies now. You kind of like what you project onto them.
Got it. All right. And coming up at number 1 slot, as we skip the Suicide Squad, since that was just a little slight cameo there. Of course, the biggest film, I think, when you think about Ben Affleck and the films that he's been in, Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice came out earlier this year, back in March.
Shot in Detroit, by the way.
$166 million.
Holla!
Oh, Adelia absolutely hates Pearl Harbor. Sorry.
I don't like it either.
There you go.
All right, well, I'll take it.
The Batman vs Superman. That was a movie that just disappointed me on so many levels. So let's just hope that they
That's-
are.
yeah, we
So
don't-
it disappointed me
Let's
too.
not speak about
Yes.
it.
No, let's
But it
hope they
was
just
shot
turn
in
it
Detroit,
around.
which is cool.
There you go. Let's hope they turn it around for Justice League. That'd
Maybe.
be great. All right, so folks, we're gonna do our top 5 predictions there. But while we're getting that out of the way, we're gonna have you guys start chiming in on placing your bets for the box office breakdown. So folks, start chiming in on the chat about the film you want to do. Have us do our box office bet. We have the 3 films to choose from: The Accountant, Kevin Hart, What Now, and Max Steel. So start chiming away there in the chat. We'll do like whichever gets the 3 first will be the movie that we will bet on. In the meantime, while you're casting your votes there in the chat, we're going to do our top 5 predictions for next weekend's box office. So again, we've got The Accountant, Kevin Hart, What Now, and Max Steel, along with our last week's 5, The Girl on the Train, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Deepwater Horizon, The Magnificent Seven, and Storks, all vying for that. So just a few notes before we make our predictions. The last Ben Affleck drama, Gone Girl, came out in October of 2014, and that opened with, as we're talking about, 35 million. So kind of thinking at the same time of year, so maybe we'll have a similar kind of effect there at the box office. And Kevin Hart's last comedy, Central Intelligence, came out back in May, and that opened with 35 million.
Wait, this movie is a stand-up comedy movie, though, isn't it? Or is it
this-
a real movie?
I think they're like little interstitials cut in it, but predominantly it is a stand-up movie. Almost
Right.
like Eddie Murphy's Raw, where they had like a little bits at the beginning to get when he's a child and stuff. I think there are some kind of wraparounds and maybe some interstitials,
Yeah.
but predominantly it's him doing his stand-up.
What he normally does.
I mean, it is a throwback. It's been, I don't know, it's been a little while since we had just like a pure kind of stand-up movie like that.
We see them all the time. We just see them on HBO.
Correct. So going back into the theater,
Yeah.
does any stand-up that you feel like, all right, I can see more of that like on TV to seeing that in a film? Because I feel like the promotion for that, if you see those posters, it does not make you think it's a comedy film at all. It makes you think it's some kind of like action
But you
adventure.
know what? Honestly, if you watch Kevin Hart's stand-up, like, it's kind of depressing. Like, I really like Kevin Hart, but his stand-up is like not as hokey and cute as his movies and the way he acts in his movies.
Yeah, because he can play off of things.
He's gonna be.
You know what I mean?
But he talks a lot about his dad, like his childhood, and it gets kind of heavy. So I'm wondering if people are gonna be getting what they think they're gonna be getting out of this.
If I had to base it strictly on the posters and not seeing any trailers or commercials, I would think this is an actual film and not a stand-up comedy experience with some sort of kind of interstitial elements put into it. Richie, have you seen those posters? Do you feel, if you just saw those, not knowing what this was about, would you think it was for an action film?
Listen,
or action comedy?
I'm not a Kevin Hart hater, but I just kind of bypass it all. I mean, it just feels so cliche almost at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everything he does. I feel like there's always going to be a Kevin Hart special or a Kevin Hart movie that's coming out. It reminds me of Medea at this point. No offense to Tyler Perry either, but I'm just saying that you kind of know what you're going to get.
But the same thing with Medea, with Tyler Perry. His name on a poster sells tickets.
Exactly. So
that guy's a box office drop.
That's what I'm saying. It just feels like more of the same, which is it's okay. I mean, if it's a cash cow, but is it anything novel?
Where's
I don't
the integrity?
know.
Where is the integrity? That is what we're asking.
Integrity?
What are your intentions, Kevin Hart?
Well, it's just if you're gonna sell, if that's how you're advertising, at least on promotional efforts, why? I feel like you're just kind of baiting and switching with the audience. It'd be fine. Tell me it's a stand-up movie. You're standing there at the mic or something like that, and set my expectations.
Maybe it's like a ploy to get people to go in because they don't know what it's gonna be. I mean, there have been movies that have literally sold tickets just based off Mystique.
Great.
And I don't mean X-Men.
Oh, thank you.
High five, high five, high five.
Are we doing this? All right, we're high-fiving this? All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, so with our little discussion there, let's do our top 5. It looks like, thanks for Alvin keeping track of the chat, it looks like the one that's won with the most votes is we've got Max Steel, clear winner with 6 votes there. So there you go. We'll be doing our box office bet after we do our top 5 predictions. We're doing the box office bet with Max Steel. Thank you, chat. But in the meantime, let's do our box office.
Thank you, chat.
We're going to do our top 5 predictions there for next weekend's box office. Richie Skye, what do you think next week's top 5 is going to look like?
Oh, so my initial thought was, despite all my talk, I was going to put Kevin Hart first, and then I looked at the theaters. So I kind of
what do we got? 2,000 theaters?
It's I think 2,500. So the accountant has a little bit more than that.
3,200 plus.
So I'm actually going to go with the accountant, then Kevin Hart, and then Max Steel. And then I'll say Girl on the Train, Miss Peregrine, Deepwater Horizon. Oh, well, that's it.
Wait, so the accountant, Max Steel?
The accountant, Kevin Hart, Max Steel, the Girl on the Train, and then Mrs. Peregrine.
Okay.
Man, you're really going that high with Max Steel.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Because admittedly, it's based on an animated property, but I don't know much about it at all.
I don't know anything about Max Steel. I was actually going to ask you guys: is this a superhero?
I didn't know much.
I don't know.
It wasn't anything that I was following.
Maybe I'm not in this world enough.
And I was looking at the trailers.
Looks like a little kid movie. It's rated PG, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at the trailers and I was just like, I love when superhero movies are just kind of badass, and this just felt like
I almost
slapstick
feel
a little bit.
I was gonna say it almost feels like a cross between a Captain America kind of classic kind of Marvel and one of those dog movies.
One of those dog movies.
One of those movies where that dog movie that came out about that dog. I think the dog's also name was Max. With the dog who was in the army.
Oh right, yes.
Do you know what I mean? It kind of feels because it kind of it's like a kid movie, but it's also a superhero movie, and it's kind of how do we get kids to go see? Because
Well, what about Sky High? You love Sky High.
I do love
What
Sky
if this
High.
was 2016 Sky High?
Oh, it does not have the charm. Come on.
Listen, watching the trailer, they make it seem like this is the
Kurt Russell
superhero
isn't in
that
it.
everybody knows, and I was like, is it just me? Am I living
Yeah, it's
under a rock?
finally the thing you've all been waiting for, Max Steel.
And I'm like,
everyone
who?
huh?
Yes. As Alvin says, he has no idea what Max Steel is, so good luck.
Oh, it's
So,
based
yes.
on a toy.
Yeah, there you
No
go.
consistent tone.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing there's a cartoon show, Cartoon Network, I believe. Cartoon show. What a great
Like
way for me to
Danny
describe
Phantom
that.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
Oh my God.
All right, so
From Mattel.
Quinn,
Yeah.
what's your top 5 going to be?
I'm gonna go The Accountant #1. I'm gonna go Girl on the Train #2. Max Steel, Mrs. Peregrine's Kevin Hart.
Man, going low with Kevin Hart.
I am going low with Kevin Hart.
Are you going low because you feel it's a little bait and switch? People don't know what they're getting?
I don't think people are excited about this. I don't think I'm seeing a lot of promotion for it. I think that it feels like the kind of content that you would normally get on HBO, and people would maybe necessarily aren't dying to go spend that $16 on it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think it's going to be in the top 5. I think it's going to do all right because it's Kevin Hart, but I don't see people coming in droves for this one.
And they're obviously putting a lot of stock in it if they're putting it at that many theaters.
No, that's true. But I feel like
For a
it's
stand-up
yeah.
comedy movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, if you, what if it's I guess we're talking about 2016 Sky High. This could be 2016's Raw.
Listen, it could be.
It could be. I don't think so. I don't think so. But who knows?
It could very well be.
All right. So I guess I'm going to go with The Accountant. I'm going to go with Girl on the Train.
Yes, Sky. I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with Sky.
I guess I'll go with Kevin Hart, Miss Peregrine's, Deepwater Horizon. I don't think I'm gonna say Magnificent Seven. I don't think Max Steel is gonna make the
But
top
what are
5.
we at? When we Magnificent Seven isn't at what, $5 million? How much did it make this
It
weekend?
made 9.
How low do you think that Max Steel is gonna do?
I guess we're gonna find out in a second. 'Cause
You
we're
think
gonna
Max
be doing
Steel's
our
gonna make like
box
$4
office
million?
bet. We're doing our box office bet in just a second. So that's what I'm thinking about. But
All
now, folks,
right.
we're gonna do our box office bet. As always, the rules are we're all gonna take a bet on what we think that the actual box office of the film in question will be. In this case, Max Steel. The one that gets closest gets to bask in the glow of victory. The one that's farthest away from the actual box office will have to see that film, tell us all about that exciting experience.
And sink into a pool of misery.
Well, but you saw Magnificent Seven. That wasn't a bad. That wasn't a terrible. Sometimes it's a good
I
experience.
don't know.
But
Listen,
sometimes the
it's-
chat is very nice to us, and sometimes the chat is very mean to us.
That's true.
Listen, it's superhero movie, so maybe it could be enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's powers, there's fighting. I mean, you can't go wrong with
Albin
that
says
sometimes.
$5 million for Max Steel.
I love where you're going, man, Albin. I love where you're going. Richie Skye, pull a Quinn on this. Go really high.
Oh, I lost. I'm not going first.
That's
right.
true. You get the. So, Quinn, I'll let
I'm
you
gonna
head
go
first.
12 million Max Steel.
Ooh, 12 million. All right. I'm going to go. Man, I don't think Max is going to do that well. Do I do a 5? I mean, I put really low on that. So I will say. I'm going to say 7. I'm going to say 7. 7 for Max Steel.
All right,
Look
so
at
me and
you.
Sky agree 12.
I'm gonna go with 11. Hi.
You going?
Because you just really don't want to go see this.
Oh.
All right, fair enough.
All right.
Between
okay.
me and you here,
All right. So there you go. So you
showdown for the ages,
you-
me and Frank.
Yeah, you went 12?
I went 12.
12,
I went
12,
high.
7, and 11. All right.
Although, come on,
went
I
semi-high.
did just say that I need to stop going so high with these movies, but
But look at she's a dreamer.
I don't think that was
I'm a
like
dreamer.
out of the realm of possibility.
no,
though.
I don't think it's not a 60 million, but
No, it's not a 60.
that would be
no.
funny.
Yeah. No.
Wouldn't it be hilarious?
But that's the thing. If I had to choose to go see a film, I'd rather take my kids to go see Storks again than go see Max Steel.
Because you have the tattoo.
Do you have stock in this movie? Did you
I do.
write this movie?
Yeah.
Guys, yeah, that's right. I am Nick Stoller, guys. Hi, how are you?
He's being sponsored by Storks.
Who's Nick Stoller? Did he write
If you saw,
stories?
yeah, he did. He co-wrote it. So if you are, if you see that my car is wrapped in a big Storks promotional package right there, just cruising around, promoting Storks wherever I go. Storks you later. Trying to work that in a conversation,
Clearly.
guys. No?
Storks you later.
I cannot prognosticate
That
about
does
this
not
anymore.
even storks you later. That's like that one part from Modern Family where they're like closets something. It doesn't really work, but it doesn't work.
Good try, Quinn.
Does anybody know that joke from Modern Family? Whatever.
Albin's got my back though. See, Albin, get that matching tattoo. Let's be
Honestly,
tattoo buddies for
can you guys
Storks.
just get married? We get it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sky Patterson predicting Kevin Hart's gonna do 16 million. Interesting.
That seems high, Sky.
What are you
Does it
predicting?
really seem high?
Sky high.
Are we in a day and age where that seems high for this type?
For this type of movie, for this content, yes, it seems high. This
I feel like
feels
it's
like a
about-
niche market to me.
But I feel like it's about where it could be for the first week.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Is like if you like Kevin Hart,
Because I
you
mean,
will
there are
go
a lot
see
of people
this.
that do like Kevin Hart.
Genuinely so, and they like that. And if you get the idea of it, you don't have to worry about the story, but
And
you just get to see him telling jokes.
It's like going to your favorite restaurant. You know what you're gonna get. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, so that is going to do it for this episode of Box Office
Quinn is
Breakdown. But as always, folks,
I'm
you can like us on
jealous.
Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks so much for everybody hopping in the chat. We love having you interacting with us and keeping us honest here in the chat. We'll see you back here next week. And if you want to continue the conversation with us even after the show's over, Richie Skye, where can they find you?
You guys can stalk me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Richie Skye.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Instagram at Quinstagram, and you can add me on Snapchat at
Quapchat.
And you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. I'll stork you later, everybody. We'll see you next week for another episode of Box Office Breakdown here on Popcorn Talk.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.